Hello, everyone. My guest today is Yurii Filipchuk. He is the founder and CEO of a company called Party.Space. He's an ex-finance bro, 4 years in VC and private equity with tech-focused investment firm CYFRD, and he's keen on hustle, culture, and B2B SaaS. Yurii, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, here I am.
Okay. So the link, if you want to follow along, is Party.Space. What's the company doing? How do you make money?
So we have started from virtual parties, and now we fuel the data-driven corporate culture for remote teams.
Okay. And so how do you do? Are they paying a subscription fee as a consulting business?
At the moment, we haven't released the product for masses yet, and we don't have any subscriptions yet, despite some clients are already asking us to provide them with such an option. So what we do, we ran and hosted number of parties. Some of them were on our basic product, and some were in something completely unbelievably cool. And I'm going to tell a little bit more about that.
So just to be clear, your pre-revenue today, you're planning to launch here in January of 2021, like this month. Is that accurate?
Yeah, January, February, we're going to have a release. But we have already earned something in 2020, something like $200K.
Okay, and what did you make that money from?
So we ran one-off events for tech companies.
Oh, so you run it. So tech companies hire you to run events, and you're their events team.
So we host their events on our platform. Sometimes we partner up with event agencies for bigger events. Sometimes we host them solely.
How many customers did paid you something in the past 12 months?
Probably around 25.
Okay, around 25. So they each pay you sort of $8,000 or $9,000 a year, or is that or per event? Or
no. The distribution is not that even. So we have one big client paid us almost 200,000 euros for one-off event, and we have like a very bigger number of smaller events for $300 each.
Mm-hmm. What are you waiting for? I mean, Hopin just, is growing like crazy. I mean, this is right now as a time to be launching a tool like this. Why aren't you guys out there in the public like right now? Why are you waiting?
Yeah, so Hopin inspired us to start Party.Space in May. We saw that virtual event space is going to be hot. But in September, we have identified that corporate events are also going to be huge. Because companies clearly lack instruments to preserve and even to build a corporate culture for distributed teams. And this September, so we had a prototype of 2D product of Party.Space, and it was clearly something that was good enough for people to treat it not as Zoom, but as a Party.Space. Yeah. But one tech giant leading stream service challenged us. So, guys, can you make us a virtual party in 3D? And they said, so event going to be on December, in like 3rd of December. It was 2.5 months, and my technical team.
How many people on your team?
So I have 2 technical co-founders, okay. And we have hired like 5 more people. To make this event.
So there's 8 total?
Yeah.
And the 3 co-founders, did you guys just split 33, 33, 33?
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay, great. Okay.
Almost like that. Yeah. So the tech giant challenged us to make the party in 3D. And we took this challenge and delivered it. And we saw that engagement numbers are like 10 times better.
Measured by what? What does that mean?
Engagement, I mean level of participation of people in activities. So virtual events for corporates, in this case, it consisted of like main show, group communication for teams, and group games. And we saw that vast majority of people participated in almost all activities, all games, and some people even communicated to more than 100 people during the event.
How many employees from this big tech company showed up for the event?
So it was a set of 3 events, and in total it was like 3,500 people.
Oh wow! Which tech company was it?
I cannot say it right now.
Okay.
Maybe when the time of the interview going to be alive, we will be allowed to tell this on public.
So when right now, if I go to your page, pricing, it says request a custom quote. I guess you're probably experimenting with this right now. When you do release pricing, what do you think you'll price this at?
I was truly amazed, but I saw that for our 3D project, companies are ready to pay $100 per visitor for one event. So when you're in Amazon and you would like to throw an end of year party for your employees, you can budget that much.
So you think you're going to cater really to internal team events, not like, out Coachella, these sorts of things?
Yes. And the idea behind that is when you let people who know each other to meet online, level of engagement and level of satisfaction going to be much higher because those are your colleagues, and that's a corporate culture.
How much money, Yurii, did you guys spend on building the MVP?
So MVP was built from scratch for zero, and in this year, so we were almost in a break-even situation, taking into account this client.
Okay, so and what revenue? What revenue do you think you'll do next year?
I hope I'm targeting for Hopin traction next year.
So Hopin just crossed a $20 million run rate, up from about $1 million run rate 18 months ago. You think you can break 20 million in revenue next year, up from basically nothing this year?
Yes, we can do that. So we are in a dire situation, when we go not from the bottom down to corporates, but from the top. And the list of companies that are looking for our solution is now amazes me.
How many leads do you have currently?
So currently we have so if you combine our 2D and 3D products, it's around 30 really good qualified leads.
What do you consider qualified lead? More than how many employees?
So for us, qualified lead is a client that can potentially buy the subscription. So one-off events are not sexy. The sexiest part is providing subscription. And for subscription, we are developing a set of smaller products that human resources, people experience, culture team going to use to engage employees. And those are like games, quizzes, onboarding tools, instruments to manage alumni. And
what's the cost of the subscription?
So we are now in price discovery for subscription, and I hope we can end up on $20 per employee, but $10 now seems to me pretty realistic.
And how many employees do you want companies to have in order to talk to you at all, where you think you can add value?
So our current pipeline should give us $300K in IRR. So, but
sorry, Yurii, my question is, for a company that's using you, how many employees do you want them to have where they'll get real value from your platform?
I think it's both good fit for smaller companies and bigger, but I see the sweet spot in companies for 500 people because they start suffering from losses from lack of culture.
Interesting. Now, have you built all this bootstrapped, or have you raised?
We have raised tiny angel financing part here in Ukraine, and also we have angels from the US, so they work for Google and bigger companies.
So how much sold did you raise?
We have raised also under 200K, so it's 160. Yeah.
Okay. So with the angel investment of 160,000 plus the 200,000 in revenue, you had about 360,000 to work with this year. Obviously, you're going to release the product pricing early 2021 and hopefully grow up to a healthy run rate on your subscription product.
Yeah, exactly. So we have 3 months of runaway, and I hope clients also going to make some prepayments in January.
So you have 3 months of runway right now. So what does that mean? How much cash is left in the bank?
It's a little bit more than 100K.
Okay, so you're burning about 30 grand a month?
Oh, it's actually not. It's actually 100 80K. Yeah. So we're burning around 60K per month right
Okay.
now.
Okay. Got it. So burning 6. Okay. So about 3 months of runway left. That's not a long timeline. You have to feel a little pressure there, I imagine.
That's the way I live, because if I let myself relax, we're gonna stop hustling and we're gonna stop making cool opportunities. Like one of life hacks, what we did, we have offered European VC funds to conduct Christmas virtual parties at Party.Space, and now after they're gonna have good time on our platform, I don't think we're gonna have problems fundraising.
How many of them have actually run an event on your platform?
So 2 of them are committed for Christmases. 2 funds already made the virtual happy hours, and I think we can add 3 more to the list.
Mm-hmm. And what makes, I mean, this is like a cheap shot question, but I think it's an important thought exercise. I mean, do you feel like you have some advantage, some unique acquisition channel, distribution that will allow you to beat Hopin? In other words, if they just copy your code and it's just a game about distribution, can you beat them?
So we don't compete with Hopin because Hopin is not providing corporate events.
Yeah, but why can't they just hire 5 developers and build what you've built in like 3 days?
Because first, we have proprietary streaming tech. Box solution was way too expensive for us, so we have decided to make it from scratch, and it came out to be like flexible enough to fit needs of event organizers. Because when it's a conference, everything is very plain and simple. But when it's a 3D venue, a nightclub built in virtual space, you need to really make it creative. Otherwise, it's going to be boring.
Mm-hmm. Okay, makes sense. Well, listen, we're rooting for you. That's for sure. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Okay, Sun Tzu, Art of War.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Right now, I'm looking for HR blogs, and GitLab is doing probably the best job on the human resources.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building the business?
Prospecting. I really
What's it called?
Prospecting.
I haven't heard of them yet. Prospecting. Okay. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I sleep 8 hours.
And what's your situation, Yurii? Married, single, kids?
Single, a little bit fundraising, and fully committed.
All right, so no kids. And how old are you?
Party.Space. 28.
28. Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
I wish everything stays the same.
It's not something you want to change, just a piece of information you wish you knew.
Probably I wish I knew more on Bitcoin, but that's very cheap shot.
Guys, there you have it. Party.Space, a corporate version of Hopin that sounds like a lot more fun. They bootstrapped with sweat equity. 3 founders own about 30% each. They raised $160,000 in angel, did $200,000 in revenue this year on sort of a custom deal, but they're moving into pure subscription next year as they look to scale. They have 30 corporations on their lead list, looking to charge thousands and thousands of dollars per for these events, charging on a per attended seat model. We'll see if they can scale. Thanks so much, Yurii, for taking us to the top.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.